about Salah and Cristiano Ronaldo. And actually, to make it worse or better, Salah scored the goal, and then they waited, they said we've won it, until 90 plus 4 minutes. And Cristiano did what he does.
And he scored a brace.
Of course, he scored, and then everyone from that stadium were clapping. You know, it was over 2-1.
Do you think Salah can emulate what he's done in English Premier League with Liverpool on the global stage during the upcoming World Cup?
Okay, what I saw yesterday was that he can. Unfortunately, it's like they don't have the chemistry between him and the midfielders of that team. I think that's where the coach needs to do something, because Salah could come back, track, get the game, the ball, move forward, get the spaces, all that. But sometimes we find that the teammates were letting him down. He can sparkle even at the World Cup, but they need to do something about cohesion in that team.
And talking about the predicaments of France, Les Bleus, 1998 World Cup winners, of course, being beaten by Colombia 3-2, an upset. And do you think the tribulations they are going through are attributed to Paul Pogba's instability at Old Trafford? Because we've also seen Didier Deschamps, the tactician for the national team of France, speaking about the miseries of his team and even the mental strengths of Paul Pogba ahead of the World Cup.
What I believe is this: Le Bleu is made out of 11 players, not one player. As much as he has a major impact, let's look at that position, for example. That position, its squad depth is amazing. Matuidi can play in the same position, okay? You can even come in, Payet can even swing in and play in that position, depending on the formation that obviously Deschamps puts in. What I believe is France has every chance whatsoever to get to the finals of the World Cup. Okay, from the attacking to the defensive, they have every chance. But one thing we need to understand is that one player cannot make up the whole team. So as a manager, you put your point across. Listen, you're going to play within my rules. You're going to play within my formation. This is the set squad I've put you in. Play within it, okay? When you go back to club football, Jose Mourinho needs to sit him down again and say, listen, you have a career ahead of you. You did well in Juventus, but now you've come into Manchester United. Okay, we are not winning championships right now. We are building a team. Okay, listen to me, get cooperative, let's work on a structured plan. No one person is bigger than a team. And that's the same thing the French coach will tell him. And I believe we can center the game on those other 11 players. France has a big squad. I'm an English fan, but I'm telling you, France has a very good squad. And I don't see why they would rely on one man. No way.
Another talking point is that clash pitting Argentina and Italy. Of course, as we speak right now, Italy, that was an upset, them not failing to qualify to 2018 World Cup in Russia. But Argentina having their goal scored by unfamiliar sort of players. Was Italy in this game for formality because they have nothing to lose and win, even if they won the game?
Okay, when I looked at the first half was actually balanced because it was 0-0 first half. Second half, things changed. And you talked about Manuel Lanzini, a player for West Ham, right?
Yes.
He's a guy that we don't know, right? And he was called in, actually he was called in to go there just to make numbers, to find out. But he made a big impact yesterday. Eva Banega, I think, I can't say he's a person we don't know. We know him because he's been playing in La Liga for now it's the third year, right? Yes. And he's a very good player. And because you are a Manchester United fan, you remember what he did the other day.
Yes,
he's a good player, So scorers, actually, it was something that we didn't expect. However, when you look at the national team, we expected actually Di Maria to score. We expected Messi to come in, but he's injured. We expected Aguero, all that, big names. But Italy, I can say, their coach has to go back. Just like you talked about the plan. I think Italy did not put in a plan. Look at even goalkeeper Buffon at 40. Okay, he did marvelous savings yesterday. He did so many, But they need to look at 10 years from now, 5 years from now. How will be the national team of Italy be? They're not planning. When you look at Argentina actually had a plan. And that's why I was even surprised that even my friend Paul Dybala is not in the national team, because it's just in a middle of good players. Now what do? You drop even one of the good players. So Italy, actually in this case, they were the losers, and actually when Messi, if Messi played, they would have even lost more. But actually they were hammered only 2. But we expect perhaps next week, when they will be having another international matches, perhaps they may pull a surprise.
Of course, we can't leave this particular discussion without being patriotic and talking about African teams, especially those who've qualified to FIFA World Cup. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, of course, beating Colombia 3-2. Egypt trying against Portugal, the Euro Cup champions, losing to them 2-1. Mo Salah scoring. Tunisia beating Iran 1-0. What do you make of the potential and capability of African teams who qualified to the World Cup to...
I believe the potential is brilliant. Why? First thing, they have gone back as to what Patrick was saying and I was saying earlier. They have gone back and they have decided, let's pull back all these all-stars we had in our teams, okay? Let's pull them back and let's bring in fresh blood. Look at the Super Eagles. We can sit down here and talk about the squad.
Yeah.
You look at a famous name. Look at Mikel. You not see Mikel.
But Victor Moses is there.
But Victor Moses is there because of his wonderful showing at Chelsea. Okay, was he a superstar? No. He kept on going on loans everywhere. But look now, he's established. Let's go to Egypt. If it's not for El Neni, who's in Arsenal, most people would think Mo Salah was from some Arab state, you know, because he was either in Roma, he was either in Chelsea, he was either in so many loans. But now he's come out and all of a sudden there's a pyramid at Liverpool. There's a pyramid in the Egyptian squad. And now you go again to Morocco. It's the same thing, pulling back the superstars and bringing in the young guns. Why do I see potential in this again? We can have a plan on the African football field, okay? We have the AFCON that is going on. We have all these other things that are happening in Africa. But let's not stick with the major stars that we are seeing on TV. Let's go back to the grassroots. And I'm encouraged in what some African countries are doing, including Kenya, whereby we're setting up various pitches around, if it's either it's in Nairobi, if it's either it's in Nakuru, all these places. Let's find these young people. Let's get scouts to go out and say, you know what, I went and got my badges, whether it was UEFA badges, whether it was African Cup of Nations types of badges, and I've come as a scout to look for the best players around. Not necessarily big names, but the best players, because that's where we need to head right now. Europe is beating us at this, and I'm very shocked and I'm very disappointed that one day a country like America will beat us on recycling players.
Patrick, pundits have argued that the only opportunity an African team would have capitalized on and win World Cup was in 2010 when it happened in South Africa, and there is no way, and we should not look forward to a scenario anytime soon to see an African team winning an international showpiece in the name of World Cup. What do you think?
I think that's I think that's,
is it a fallacy?
Actually, it's not even a fallacy. I think it's I can call it a hearsay. You know, people sit here and think that, you know, Africa right now, look at Mo Salah, for example, look at Sadio Mane, for example, look at, I mean, we have stars, young stars who are making big names. I watched that game between Portugal and Egypt. You not see the difference between Cristiano Ronaldo and Mo Salah. You not see the difference. Passing, they were passing the same. I mean, they were doing almost the same things. So I think in future we may see even African nations going even further than what we've achieved. If this season, perhaps Mo Salah, the way people are rating him, is actually either third or fourth in the world, right? Third or fourth. Forget about the number of goals they actually scored. Either third or fourth in the world, meaning that he's at that level. Look at Sadio Mane. He's at that level, right? Go to, you've talked about Nigeria. You know, when I look at the Nigerian squad, I was like, who are these? But when I looked at them in the pitch, I said, my goodness, this is a good team. Yes. Give them time. Give them time. They're going to make good names for themselves and also for this continent. So we are moving further. We may, perhaps even this World Cup, surprise other people, perhaps even to get the knockout. Mm-hmm. They are good teams. Look at even the type of games they are playing. Actually, look at the tactics. They are playing just like the European countries. There's no big difference between, for example, Nigeria and Brazil. There's no big difference between Nigeria and England. There's no big difference between Germany and Senegal. There's no big difference. We are almost at the same level. Yeah.
But as we wind up on matters World Cup, of course, it's happening in Russia, but amid fears of insecurity, some countries contemplating boycotting. Do you think this will thwart the efforts of a successful tourney in case countries, you know, try to pull out on grounds of insecurity and their safety not being guaranteed?
I think this is where now bodies like the European Union, bigger bodies out of football, come in and reassure the European teams that are coming in, reassure the South American teams coming in, reassure any other team in the world that is coming in that Russia is going to be safe. Vladimir Putin wants to showcase Russia, even if yes, it's a communist country. He wants to showcase the country and show that, you know what, this country deserves to have that spotlight. Amidst all these tensions it's been having, You understand? And what the only thing I'll be afraid of, and it will be sad, that people will pull out before even external bodies can come in and assist what's happening in Russia. Russia has a very good foundation to host the World Cup, and that is the major tournament that we're looking at this year. Let it not happen to a point whereby we are losing teams dropping out. It will be sad. It will be really sad. It will be a repetition of what happened in Germany when Adolf Hitler hosted the Olympics. People pulled away. It was only Jesse Owens who decided to run, and Hitler looked and wondered, who is this black African who's running this way? So let's hope that does not happen this time.
Let's hope that one does not happen this time around. We're discussing matters World Cup friendlies ahead of the big tourney, the big competition, the big showpiece happening in Russia a few months from now as we speak. And remember, KBC channel on our mother channel alongside Y254. We'll be glad to bring you live and exclusive action as far as that one is concerned. Soon, of course, we shall be starting to give you your star players that will be featuring in the competition. You need to start knowing them, and probably so that you have a feel ahead of the big competition. But Brazil, Patrick Mleka, they beat Russia 3-0, even without Neymar, who's on the sidelines and reliably informed is looking forward recovering by May, just a month to the kickoff of the global competition. What do you think? Is Brazil a polished side even without Neymar Jr.?
Yesterday, I may not rate the performance yesterday, because Russia, I may say, it's not one of the heavyweights because they started well, but later it's like they ran out of ideas, and then they were actually hammered 3-0 by Brazil. But I looked at also the Brazil squad. I think there is something that this Brazil squad has done that the previous one did not do. The previous one did not incorporate experienced players who are there to make the youngsters achieve at the big stage. I looked at Daniel Alves was there, right? Dan Alves was there, Miranda was there, Thiago Silva was there. And when you move forward, you find that there are other players, for example, like Douglas Costa is there. You go there and find, the youngsters that are coming in. Casemiro is there. Coutinho, Coutinho is there. You look at, it is a gel between the experience, pace, and also the names.
But we have to accept the back line still has some old guards.
Of course.
In Daniel Alves, Marcelo, Thiago Silva.
Of course it has. And again, I was looking at the molding of that team. When Neymar comes in, we're going to have, in fact, even bigger energy than what we saw yesterday. So I'm seeing a Brazilian squad this year that's going to perform better than the last one. Though, when you look across all the teams that have qualified for World Cup, we can't say they have quality. It's not like the other time. I don't think this World Cup you'll see someone being hammered 10-0. I'm not going to say that, because even Saudi Arabia, the team that we did not, you see them playing, they play very tight. You can't score goals. So it's like we are going to have one of the best showcase in this World Cup.
Finally, of course, we're winding up. My super technician Brian Kimani telling me that time is not on our side. We need to start wrapping up. But before we do, let's try to be speculative as far as the lineups and team selections of various national teams are concerned, and players who are likely to get omitted from their respective squads. I'm told Alvaro Morata stands a huge chance of not earning a call as far as the Spanish national team is concerned. Josaina, let's try to be speculative as far as these heavyweights: England, Spain, Brazil, Argentina. Who is likely to get a nod? Who is likely to be left out? First of all, as far as Alvaro Morata's issue is concerned, do you think he deserves being left out?
He deserves to play, but again, the system that Spain are playing right now, he cannot play in. Because Spain are not looking for a big forward, a centre forward who will hold in the game. They want to play tiki-taka like Barcelona. And that's why yesterday they had Rodrigo, they had the likes of Koke, who are playing up front.
And Diego Costa is also there.
And Diego Costa is also there, you understand? So for his sake, I do not think he'll get a call-up. He might feature as a few warm-up games towards the World Cup, but I don't think he'll get a call-up. If we cover England right now as it is, and I said before, I believe the squad that is right there, headed by Rashford, headed by Lingard, headed again, hopefully Lallana will come back proper now, fit from his injury. We have the likes of Daniel Sturridge, who I don't think will get a call-up. It's really unfortunate. The surprise package is obviously Ashley Young. But now Ashley Young's game cannot come in as a left wing. He has to come back as a left back. But depending on Gareth Southgate's formation, we'll see where he can feature in. For Brazil, as Patrick said, again, you look at that front line. We have Gabriel Jesus, we have Coutinho, we have the likes of Douglas Costa, and we have the likes of Neymar. Any shining name that will be there will be Neymar. And basically what he did in Barcelona, but not so much right now in PSG. Take that name away, and we have the rear guard, the old guys who are holding back the rear guard as a defense. It's going to be difficult.
David Luiz,
yes, but now will he replace Casemiro? Or will he go back and play defense? And yet we have been having this argument how many years? I think 10 years now. Yeah. Is David Luiz a defender or a midfielder?
A midfielder.
Already Casemiro has cemented that position as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Patrick, as far as Argentina is concerned, Gonzalo Higuain, his case?
Higuain, that is a big one, because Higuain, he'll be in the squad, but we have a problem there because we have Aguero is there, right? I said that in the beginning, I wanted actually Paul Dybala to be in the team. Unfortunately, it's out. That is a star that we are going to miss at the World Cup because he's not been called in the national team. But we're expecting that perhaps the main striker will be Aguero, and we'll have Higuain there, perhaps as a backup. And I think that the striking force is done. The problem may be now in the midfield, and also we talked about perhaps having Eva Banega there, being the main guy in the midfield. But we're expecting an Argentina that is going to rotate around Messi again.
So Ezequiel Lavezzi.
Lavezzi, I don't think he'll get an opportunity. I don't think so. He's out, right? We are going to have...
Lamela can be there also.
Yeah? Who?
Lamela.
Eric Lamela.
By the way, Lamela is also there.
But,
so,
but
it's also good, by the way. He may be retained in case of anything. In case we have injuries, he's going to be there. But again, I wanted to perhaps shift into Portugal. You know, Portugal is a team that I think we are not going to have casualties, right? It's like they've already made up their mind. We are going to have Cristiano Ronaldo.
And Luis
Nani.
To
have Luis Nani. Luis Nani will be there. I'm very sure he's going to be there. And then, of course, we're going to have Bernardo Silva is there. So it's like when I look at their national...
How comes you being elusive and you evading talking about your team Germany?
Germany,
what are the standout additions
Germany,
and
Germany,
exceptional
I can
omissions?
Talk about Germany for the next 2 hours, and I don't want to go there because Germany is a team that has stars plus youngsters. Now you don't want to do. In fact, I was looking at the back line. Who are you going to have at the back line? Are you going to have, Rudiger? Are you going to have Sule? Are you going to have, who are you going to have? Are you going to have Kimmich? Who are you going to have in the back?
Mats Hummels?
Mats Hummels is there, right? Yeah. Go to the midfield. Midfield is where you have now the biggest problem. Are you going to have Draxler? Are you going to have Toni Kroos? Are you going to have, Ozil? Who are you going to have in the midfield?
Marco Reus.
Marco Reus is there, by the way. So
the biggest football global extravaganza coming up next in June. That's World Cup happening in Russia, and we want to be giving you comprehensive and detailed previews as far as the international showpiece is concerned. That only happens on the touchline on Y254 every Saturday, 1 to 3. But remember, the fan favorite segment, the Fan Zone, is still on. Keep talking to us on 22162, starting with the word touch. Tweet us as well at Wasike Maxwell, at Osoro Bats, to hashtag touchline Y254 and at Y254 channel. If you're going to come on the show and talk about your favorite national team and even club, this is an international break, but several European league action resumes next weekend. You can still come and vehemently defend your team. Remember, this particular evening, Kenya Harambee Stars, the national team, locking horns against Comoros in Marrakesh, Morocco, as part of their preparation for African Cup of Nations qualifiers, and 3 days later they play Central African Republic on Tuesday. But Kenya Cup final is also happening. Rugby Football Club, that is Cabras, 2016 Kenya Cup champions, locking horns against KCB, the defending champions, and KCB looking forward to rewrite the history by beating them again. And Cabras, the other side, of course, looking forward to break the jinx of not winning against the 5-time champions. 4x4 challenge happening from today and tomorrow at Kipeto in Champagne Park, Kajiado County, and we all heading there straight from here. It's always been real having you on board and doing this. This is the touchline. Stay tuned and enjoy.